Hi, this is Dan Fox with a Kapaha Arrow. We are at Anime in St. Louis. We just survived a tornado warning, and now we're going to start walking around the convention. We're at Anime STL. What's your name?
Carly Coleman.
And what character are you?
Motoko Kusanage from Ghost in the Shell.
Cool. So what brings you to the con this year?
Mostly seeing friends and the great deals at the dealer's room.
Cool. Are you planning on, what panels are you planning on attending?
Whose line is it anime?
Nice, nice. What are they going to do there?
It's basically like whose line is it anyway, but with the voice actors and the guests are here and they basically do improv too.
Oh, cool. Awesome. And how hard was it to make that costume?
Not that hard, I got it commissioned.
Oh, nice. That always helps, doesn't it?
Yep.
All right. Well, thank you very much. I'm here with a character from Assassin's Creed. You are Enzio, correct?
Yep, it's yep.
So how long did it take you to make that costume?
I actually bought it. I had it custom made online, actually.
Okay, cool. And what brings you to the con this year?
I haven't been to one before. I'm an anime fan. I have been for years. I just haven't had the opportunity to come yet. So I decided if I'm going to go, I might as well go all out with it. So.
Cool. And what panels are you planning attending later?
Well, I'm not entirely sure which ones I'm going to. I'm just kind of wandering around, popping into everything that I can, and if I like it, I stick around for a while.
Okay. We are here with Brad Jones, better known as the Cinema Snob, and from the Brad Tries videos. What kind of audience are you hoping to reach through Anime in St. Louis?
Oh, the same audience that I try reaching on the website, which is fans of basically the kind of movies that I grew up watching, you know, the slasher films, the exploitation films, chop sake movies, all that fun stuff. So yeah, to appeal to the same audience.
Okay. And it seems almost everybody has done Cinema Snob parody or run their show like one. Who do you think does get your character the best?
Spoonie. Spoonie did. He was pretty dead on in his impression. He had the bare feet and everything. It was so specific to where he even put in post production the sound effect of the camera motor going on, which was in my earlier videos till I got a new camera. But he was pretty dead on. Lupa does a really great one too. So does Doug. But Spoonie's was probably my favorite.
Okay. Now, in Brad Tries, what's the most disgusting thing that you have ever tried?
Oh, that's easy. That was the Brussels sprout soda. It was a Jones soda. That was in the Thanksgiving pack, and there was one of them which was a mess of a bunch of different terrible things to begin with. But the Brussels sprouts one was like drinking carbonated melted butter in soda form. It was just. It was the closest that I've come to just gagging, to just almost getting sick. It was wretched.
Have you heard about deep fried beer? Have you ever thought about trying that?
I actually would try that. I do know of deep fried Coke, deep fried Coca-Cola. They have that at the state fair in Illinois, which is like. Sort of like a funnel cake, you know, but they use the Coke syrup. Is that basically what the fried beer one is?
I believe so.
Is it? I would definitely try that. Yeah.
Okay. And now Brad Tries has been used by a bunch of other people as well. Have you ever thought about putting a disclaimer up, kind of like Jackass does at the beginning?
Warning, don't drink this stuff at home. For some of them, I do kind of, because some of them, you know, it's sort of like, I'm just drinking this weird energy drink, you know. If you want to try it, you go ahead. A lot of the older ones, like the discontinued stuff, I think I do kind of say, like, get it at your own risk. I mean, it's never affected me, and it shouldn't. I mean, an old soda, as long as, I don't know, maybe if you chugged it, it might upset your stomach quite a bit, but, you know, it's to my knowledge, it's probably not going to hurt you. But, again, drink it at your own risk, an 18-year-old Crystal Pepsi.
Okay, so what's your turnout been like at this convention?
Really great. It's been fantastic. We had a Q&A earlier that a lot of people showed up to, and I was very happy with the turnout for it. It's been a blast meeting all the new fans and such.
Okay. And do you have anything big planned for your show in the future?
We just did the Cannibal Holocaust episode, which was a pretty gimmicky episode, which was a lot of fun. Every now and then, I like to throw in something like the Cannibal Holocaust episode or something like that, just so it's not the same thing every time. You know, like once every 30 Cinema Snob episodes, I like to throw in something different just so I don't go crazy. You know what I mean? But we had the Hooker with a Heart of Gold movie that we did, and that was great. I like doing those kind of movies. So in the future, coming up this year, you know, I'll be doing another movie. Not sure what yet, but something.
Okay. Have you ever thought about reviewing Antichrist?
I did a review of Antichrist as myself on a video log. Oh, I didn't care much for that. It was I don't know. For me, when I watch something that's an exploitation film, I guess I prefer it not to be pretentious. I don't know. Maybe sometimes it can work fine. You know, like Behind the Green Door, so is awesome. It's one of the best '70s adult movies of all time. But it's kind of artsy, you know. But in that movie for me, it really worked. In Antichrist, maybe it's because I'm so not a Lars von Trier fan. I couldn't get into. I really couldn't get into it. I didn't see the appeal or anything. But I did a video log review of it.
Okay. That was a pretty disturbing movie.
It was that. I'll give it that. I'll give it that. It was disturbing.
That's a good thing.
Yeah.
And what's your favorite Nicolas Cage movie?
That's tough. That's like deciding between my children. You know, I really love Wild at Heart. I'm a big fan of Wild at Heart. Raising Arizona is great. 8mm. I'm a huge fan of 8mm. I think that's one of his most underrated. You know what my favorite one is? My favorite one is actually, again, really, really underrated. Bringing Out the Dead. Martin Scorsese, him driving around just burnt out to shit. Just driving around in an ambulance. It's awesome. If you ever get a chance to watch Bringing Out the Dead, it's fantastic. That might be my favorite Nicolas Cage movie.
Okay. Do you have a minute or so more? Because I have a few more questions. Yeah. Okay, great. All right, so what drew you to the exploitation genre at first?
I grew up watching horror movies. My folks were very lax. They pretty much let me watch whatever. So I started watching this stuff at a really, really young age, which is probably why I've seen a shit ton of them. Started 20-some years ago. You know, I would go to the video store and I would rent truckloads and truckloads of all these horror movies, all these slasher films, you know. And then when DVD came out, when DVD started happening, a lot more of the Italian exploitation flicks and even more exploitation films started becoming more available. They were more easy available to get, so I started really, really getting into that. I mean, I certainly watched them all when I was a kid, but I could really start watching a lot more of them when they started hitting DVD, especially uncut, because a lot of the stuff, let's say cut and run stuff like that, was on VHS but was edited and you know, but that's so just really kind of growing up on it is how I got into it.
What'd you think of Black Dynamite? If you did see it,
I really liked it. It was a lot of fun. You know, I sometimes with the homage movies like that, I always prefer it when they make it feel like one of those movies. You know what I mean? As opposed to okay, this was made a year ago and they're just kind of spoofing it and whatnot. But that one did it incredibly well. It really did. It was a really damn good homage and spoof. It really hit a lot of the right buttons.
Yeah, it was a really enjoyable movie. Let's see. Yeah. So, what is the? Was there ever any? Did you ever see a movie that you lost a night of sleep over? Have you ever seen anything that disturbing?
Serbian film. I didn't sleep very good that night. The first time I saw Sallow, I don't know if I slept well that night. Other than that, I don't think I was in too good a shape after watching Women's Camp 119, which is a Bruno Mattei film that takes place at an extermination camp. God, it's dark as shit. Like, it's really exploitive and whatnot, but it's pretty dark. It's pretty gruesome. I mean, that one was just so dirty that it was you know, I mean, it is what it is. But yeah, that night I was kind of like, oh, it feels so clean.
That sounds like a really bad combination. All right.
Sometimes that can be part of the experience.
Okay, well, that was Brad Jones, the Cinema Snob.